Welcome to the sofa, Jina.
Hi.
Thank you for a lovely talk. As a fellow designer, it's great to see designers up on the stage at JS conference.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
I'm really excited that I got let in.
they don't know
Yeah.
we're here. But no, I mean it's great. I think a lot of what you said is great for people to know whether it's what they're actually doing or not. Everybody can learn from that. You've been in San Francisco a while. For anyone that's sort of maybe new to JS, but also kind of new to programming maybe, and looking for kind of how people got to where they are, they can see you incredibly inspiring. Is there any points in your career that you think, I made a choice there, or I made a decision, and it's helped you to get to where you are today?
Yeah.
Can you highlight a few of them maybe?
Sure.
Or a couple?
Well, I am a designer by trade. CSS I taught myself through blogging and trying to theme my blog. I went to art school in Memphis, and there's a lot of bands in Memphis that need websites, so that's how I paid my way through a lot of college. And then I took a class in college, being a little cocky, thinking like, oh, it's web design, I've got this. And the teacher recognized that I was already doing it, and so he made me read Designing with Web Standards by Zeldman, and that put me on the standards path. And then, just, working at various startups and big companies, small companies. I'm actually kind of really liking the big company thing right now, which really surprised me. And it's given me a lot of room to explore and learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that split between deciding a startup or a bigger company, is that something you just took as opportunities arose and kind of different times?
Yeah, when I left Apple, I went to a small agency and then decided I didn't like doing client work. And so then I went to a startup.
Yeah.
And then, I initially joined Salesforce as part of a startup and then ended up joining the core team.
Let's not give too many secrets away. I just
Yeah.
realised the live stream probably saw the talk, but some people might be watching this later.
Okay.
Don't know the secrets of the talk.
Oh, okay.
So we'll leave that one there. But I think there's good path that you've had on the way through. There's been a lot of talk about open source, both here on the stage and obviously around the event. Is there anything, and if there is, that you think is a threat to the open source community or the kind of movement? What is the biggest threat that's there to it at the moment?
Well, as a designer, I'd like to see more design in open source.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I would say that's a threat. It's kind of more of like just something I think there's more of a need for. I guess I haven't done enough open source to really know what the threats
feel
are.
the threats,
Yeah. I will say, working on the SAS open source site has been awesome.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of feminine open source brands, and so getting to do that for SAS has been really awesome.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
That's good. If we take the mindset of the kind of Google is evil, as becomes potentially more and more clear, do you think there's a bigger responsibility for designers and developers to build and test on alternative browsers and platforms, which we may have kind of got into a lull where actually we're fairly dependent on one or two big platforms?
Yeah, so personally, I guess it just depends on what your product is.
Yeah.
If your product is specific to mobile, then you might just be looking at Android and iOS. But if you have software that's supposed to kind of be everywhere and use it everywhere, then obviously you want to use as many platforms and devices as possible.
Yeah.
Though I don't see big companies like Google contributing towards like Microsoft. I don't know.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
We should point that out to them.
Yeah.
It's good. You've obviously learnt lots of different skills that you've needed as you've seen different challenges come up and people have put them in front of you and said, hey, this is interesting. Is there anything you were learning 5 years ago that you think in the next maybe year or 2 years is going to feel redundant? And it felt important then. You're like, this is the thing.
I don't know if it was 5 years ago, but I used to be really idealistic with my markup,
Okay.
where it had to be as clean
Yeah.
as possible. Put everything in the CSS because CSS is disposable.
Yeah.
Markup is pristine. It's structure. But as I've worked in a lot of different products and different size companies,
Yeah.
I've learned to become a little more realistic.
Okay.
And
You're letting down those barriers and guards.
yeah, so like code is code. It's either in your CSS or it's in your markup or it's in your JavaScript.
Yeah.
And so putting it all in one isn't really solving the problem
No.
to make the
Okay.
other look smaller. It's kind of a balance. So that's something I've learned in the last 5
I
years.
think that's a great learning.
Yeah.
Great learning. You're heavily involved in the SaaS community over in San Francisco. The JS community is great at globally kind of celebrating itself and putting on events like this.
Mhm.
Is there anything that you think could be learnt from the San Francisco SaaS community? So maybe the sort of more global JS community, or maybe more global SaaS community as well.
Well, I would say just the SaaS community overall. I find, in the last few years, it's been really booming
Yeah.
and becoming more and more popular. Like, I mean, it was out for a long time, and it's gaining a lot of traction right now. But the thing I love a lot about the SaaS community is, one, the eagerness to create tools and contribute. Like, people are making so many different tools and frameworks and utilities. And then also just the community itself is super inclusive and very open.
Are there things that it does particularly that makes it feel so inclusive?
Well, like just like they have a community guidelines on their website.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, and just like if you're going to be involved in the SaaS
Yeah.
community, please follow these guidelines. And also, just being super, like if you look at any SaaS event, like they're usually like super diverse and people from various backgrounds and, ethnicities or races or so on.
And working hard to open that up, I guess.
Yeah, and it's like something that I think a lot of open source communities could probably be inspired by.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
One last question.
Sure.
You have the magic power to change anything you like, and maybe we should choose CSS instead of JavaScript.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's good.
Yeah.
What would you change about CSS if you could?
I wish SAS
If anything.
was the standard that was used in the browsers, but I understand like there's a lot of browser performance issues and all that, and there are like variables and things like that that have come out of preprocessors, but I just kind of like if there's going to be a preprocessor that the working group looks to, I hope it's kind of been SAS. I just hope it continues to be SAS, and maybe SAS just becomes the standard. That would be
good.
awesome.
That sounds good. Thank you very much for your time. It's been really nice to chat to you. And live streamers, hi.
I don't know where the camera. Oh,
Camera is over there, and two cameras.
Okay.
You can choose. Enjoy the rest of your break. We're going to have a break here, and we'll see you next time.